All right, thanks very much, Mel. Yeah, so many people have been talking about defunding police departments, and a lot of people not sure what that is. Well, it's happened to a degree years ago, about 8 years ago in New Jersey, Camden, New Jersey. Bruce Main runs a nonprofit in Camden, and he joins me now to discuss the changes he's seen since the city made the change in 2013. Bruce, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me on. Great to be here.
What happened in 2013 that these changes came about?
Sure. So in 2012, it was decided that the existing police force that had been in existence for about 140 years would be dissolved and a new police force would be created. And so it ended up all the original police in the original police force were fired. They could reapply for this new police force. They'd have to go through the application process again, physical fitness, psychological evaluation. But it was just the existing police force just didn't have the resources that it needed, and there was just a culture that wasn't effective in the community. We as a city had, I think, experienced our most violent.
And what happened? Sorry, my phone has just cut out. I'm going to ask you this question, Bruce. And what happened after that? Were there positive changes?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest changes was the new vision of the police chief, Scott Thompson, which was more of a community-based approach, getting officers out on the streets, interacting with local residents on basketball courts, visiting block parties. And, you know, I think we really began to see the presence of more police in the community, and it just humanized, you know, both the residents and the police. And I think that's probably one of the biggest takeaways from this, is that there's, you know, just a greater connection between the police and the local residents.
And did you see more money redirected towards social programs and education and things like that with the savings? Now I know the police have unionized since then, and their salaries have gone up, and it's become a larger cost to the city. But did you see money redirected from the police?
Yeah, no, there wasn't. You know, Camden is one of the poorest cities in the United States, and that was part of the problem back in 2012, is that, you know, there was just a lack of resources. I think we only had 175, 185 officers on the, you know, in the department. So, you know, what dissolving the department did is it allowed us to take more resources and you know, actually bring on more police and again develop a new culture and a new vision for policing, kind of getting away from the sort of the urban warrior vision to more of a guardian, more of a participant in making our community better.
Now, many are touting this as a success, but there are some critics who say the homicide numbers have gone down, but the population has gone down as well, and also that violent crimes aren't necessarily being reported.
Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect. We still have crime in our city, and you know, it's an ongoing issue. I think my perspective is, you know, I run a youth organization in the city called Urban Promise, and you know, when I talk to the youth, you know, and I talk to our staff that live in communities, there is just a different feeling between the police and the residents and the youth. We run a boat building program. Officers come in, they take tours, they talk to the kids. So, you know, although it's certainly not solved all our problems, there is a different feeling in the city, and I think residents feel safer.
And are you seeing young people report to the police, like call in the police when they see something happening? I mean, there's always that snitch mentality, but are you seeing that has changed, that they feel they can trust the police, that they can make those calls?
I think that's one of the things that we've seen is that increased trust, and that wasn't there prior to 2012. I was here in the city. You know, you'd call the police, they'd never show up. People were frustrated. So, you know, there actually are more officers on the streets now, and so that, you know, there's more, you know, resources for the police right now, and again, so there's greater trust. I mean, we have youth that want to be police officers now, that are coming up through our program, want to be part of a positive change in our city. So I think that speaks volumes about some of the things that have happened here.
So it sounds like this is a long-term project, and the payoff will be you'll see local kids becoming police officers, which strengthens the community.
Yeah, I mean, again, our vision is really developing leadership. And this is one of the things. Police can't do everything. We need all kinds of groups in our communities that are, investing, especially in young people. But when young people in the community stop fearing the police and stop seeing them as potential role models and, aspire to, maybe make that their career, I think that says something. And that's a sea change, a culture change. And I think, it's significant. So, we've got 3 or 4 of our alumni in the force right now. They have great connections in the community. They serve the community in different ways. And so that's encouraging to me.
Is there something you would have liked to have seen done differently maybe? Or is it, for the most part, is it working?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we want to see safer communities. We want to see communities where, kids and families can flourish. And we've still got issues, and we still, and the police is, the police force is not perfect. I don't think anybody's saying that. But I think, we're trying new things, and we're trying to create a better community in which we can all thrive. So, we're learning as we go along, and I think that's, trying new things and seeing some hopefully different results.
And with the recent marches, the police chief was at the front of the march, was it not?
Yeah, I think that's a testimony to sort of the increased trust and the relationships. When you have the local coordinator of the Black Lives Matter movement, calling the police chief, and the police chief says, "Hey, I'll join the march," because, we stand with you. We want safer communities too. And, just them marching together, I think that's that says something. That's a statement. And, especially in a city like ours that has a history of violence, the fact that we've had 2 protests over the last couple of weeks and both have been peaceful, again, that's encouraging for me and for other residents and the young people involved at Urban Promise.
And what would you say to cities that are considering defunding? Should they take the chance, take the risk?
Well, I think they should. I think they should look at other models, especially models like Camden. Look at it. See what cities like Camden have done, and learn. And maybe everything can't be contextualized to another city, but maybe there are principles that can be. And I think, I lead an organization. I'm always looking for better examples of people doing what we do. And so, I would encourage other police forces to look around the country, look around the world, and see what other groups are doing. But, we've got to look at this collaboratively. We've got to be in this together, and it can't be an us versus them kind of mentality.
Okay, Bruce, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your insight.
You're welcome. Great to be with you. Take care.
More on Breakfast Television coming up after the break, including our interview with the chief.